Hello, Hollow Times viewers. Judy Shields here. Today we welcome Ohio native country music artist Rick George. Hey Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing outstanding. How are you?
Awesome. I always like it when a guy or a girl has like two first names, Rick George. So is that your real name, a stage name? Tell us about that.
Yep, that's my given name.
All right.
Yeah,
That's cool. So who were you named after?
my dad.
All right. So
Yep.
not quite a
Yeah.
junior though, right?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I am a junior. Yep, Rick George Jr.
Well, there you go. Kind of drop the junior when you do this stuff for, when you get in the business, I guess, right? One extra word to have to say.
Yeah, I guess might be a little bit catchier with the junior, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll add it later.
Exactly. And folks, before we recorded, I saw what he was that shirt. I could see just the top of the head, and I'm like, is that Merle Haggard? And of course, it's the Hag.
That's
Uh,
him.
the number one amazing country music poet artist that we lost on his birthday of all days. And it was amazing to have been a huge fan of his and got to interview him a couple times and always be, it
Hmm.
was amazing. He's something else.
Gone too soon.
Yes, exactly. Just really glad that you're a PR person, Bev, and introduced us this way and hadn't heard of your music or you. And I'm like, I always like, even though I had a picture of you, I wasn't looking at it and I'm listening to it. And I'm like, I know. I have to look at his face and see it. I'm like, oh, I mean, because you're sort of like Waylon Jennings and, a little Vern Gosdin. Yes. And a little, I wrote it down here, Vern Gosdin, Waylon Jennings, and Lifty Frizzell. You got all these guys' voices in you. You do not look how you sing.
I get that a lot.
Ah,
Um,
you have an amazing voice.
Thanks. Thank you.
It's unique, once I start to hear more and more of your music, you can say that's Rick. That's Rick George, because and
Hmm.
it's great to have a voice like that.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, I get that a lot. I don't know why. I was talking to somebody earlier this morning, and they said the same thing. And I was like, "You expected more of a Vince Gill kind of voice?" And they said, "Yeah." So I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, especially hearing your voice. Like, I know we are on this Zoom, but your voice doesn't match your voice when you sing. It's just like a lot of people. I mean, you had Jim Neighbors who talked like he talked, and yet when he sang, he had this big baritone voice, and but you've got this great voice, and it's really nice to have met you.
Likewise, likewise.
So we're here to talk about your self-titled EP, telling relatable stories from the heart of the Rust Belt. So, what's it like to have a self-titled album? Do you choose that? Producer, who does it?
Yeah, it's me. It's I wrote all the songs, and it's all self-produced. With some
Great.
help of the folks that ran the studio out here in Dayton. But as far as it being self-titled, I went back and forth with a few different names, but I thought being my first release, it might be most appropriate to just have it be self-titled. It's a lot of the songs are about me, so it just seemed to make the most sense to do that, I guess.
Well, I do like to talk about each of the songs. So, tell us about the title, where it came from and all that. So we have Here We Are. So let's talk about Here We Are, the title
Sure.
and your inspiration for that one.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for asking. That's Here We Are is the title track on the album, and it's I I tend to not get too descriptive, as to what I wrote the songs about.
That's cool.
Within reason, of
Yeah.
course. I think songs, people kind of interpret them in their own ways, which is a good thing.
Yes.
I really like Neil Young's "Long May You Run," and I interpreted that song my own way. And then later came to find out I think he wrote that about his car breaking down. Which yeah, I still like the song, but it kind of tints it in a funny way. But long story short, Here We Are is about me meeting my wife and our lives together and how our relationship has transpired, and you kind of look back years later at all the stuff that you've been through and the accomplishments that you've made, and the trials and the good things and the bad things. You say, okay, well, here we are. It's just kind of a neat way to look at relationships.
Oh, that is a great one. Second one is Lead Me On.
Hmm. Yeah, that one's about moving. Um, from your home. I grew up, spent most of my life in Pittsburgh. I was born and raised there. Um, big Steeler fan, big Penguins fan. Pirates are all right. We like to go to Pirates games because they're cheap. Get a hot dog and a beer. But it's basically a song about how it's hard to leave your home if you have to, but the reasons that you're doing that are legitimate, and everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, that's a great, because that title could go anywhere, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Next one, something I won't find.
That's about I guess the struggles as a musician, and trying to be for my sake, an independent
Mhm.
musician, independent country musician,
Yeah.
and how it can be difficult to juggle family life and professional life and your music life, and how all those things tend to intertwine together.
Yeah, I love talking with and promoting independent, and I know what it can be like for you guys as far as hearing all the different stories from so many of them. And we appreciate that you guys, have your own or independent. It could be difficult, but it's probably worth everything at the end. That's what I find out from them who have been
Hmm.
doing it for quite some time. Like, never
Yeah.
give up. It's all about you. That's what this is
Yeah.
all about, right?
It's about the journey.
Yes, exactly. And guess who has the reins? You, which makes that got to be a lot less stressful on you, I guess, certain aspects
Yeah,
of it.
more stressful, I
Yes,
think.
I was gonna let you say that.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Next one is Homestead. That's a cool one.
Yeah, Homestead's probably the most upbeat song on the album. Had a really great local mandolin player play on that song. He's in a local Dayton band called the Shady Pine
Mhm.
Bluegrass Band. Really just incredible musician, really good at mandolin too, and apparently better at guitar from what he told me. But that song is essentially about settling down, kind of taking the next steps in life, getting married, having kids, making a homestead, quieting them down a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, it's good for us all. If we're so lucky, right?
Yeah.
Just like old times. I love that title.
Thanks. Yeah, that's kind of a weird one. It's just myself singing and playing acoustic bass and fiddle. A really good fiddle player on that song too, from the same band I just mentioned. And that one's about essentially, running into somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, and having a quick conversation with them, about stuff that happened however long ago, and reflecting on it and be like, hey, just like old times.
So
Yeah,
tell us the other musicians that you had on there. Is it
sure. Yeah. Shawn Alex, my bass player, he plays with me all the time, along with Greg Smith, who plays drums. Two really great Dayton musicians. Greg Wisecup is our pedal steel player, and he plays with me quite a bit as well. He makes the song sound country. uh, Outside of that, a few folks that I met that I don't normally play with would be Jason Clemmons on mandolin, Gil Benson on fiddle. They play together quite a bit, mostly bluegrass. And Adam West plays harmonica on one of the songs as well. He's a really great harmonica player, another local guy. Everybody that played and recorded with me were all from the greater Dayton area, a little bit of Cincinnati too.
nice? And I noticed there's a guy named Adam West, so harmonica, and I'm like, Adam
Hmm.
West, that was Batman.
Yeah, yeah, I thought the same thing too.
He should come dress up as Batman one time. Show up there. That's pretty funny. So, what's your social media for all of us to find you, your music, all that kind of stuff?
You could probably just search Rick George or Rick George Music on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music. I just managed to get one of the little blue check marks on there, so
Nice.
that'll be the right Rick George. I believe there is a college basketball coach named Rick George as well. I forget where he coaches out of, but we don't look much alike. So you should be able to identify me pretty well in the scraggly looking one.
Yeah. So, is the guitar the only instrument you play? Do you play others?
Yeah, no, I strictly play pretty much, just acoustic guitar. I don't dabble in electric too much.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to play more electric because I was much more into heavy metal music at the time
Okay.
than country music. Um, you don't hear too much acoustic guitar in metal
No.
music, but I took more the singer songwriter path and didn't
Yeah.
put as much time towards working on my electric chops or my chicken picking. And at this point, yeah, it's too late.
Yeah. So when did you get your first acoustic guitar? Like how old were you then
I
that you
was, I, yeah, I was about 13. My dad got it for me. It was a Alvarez,
wow.
and
You
yeah,
got it
it's not
back there?
behind me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's in a different room. But I managed to load that thing up with all kinds of stickers, even
Oh,
though it was a beautiful guitar.
your dad's probably
Um,
like, ah.
he's like, yeah, be yourself.
It could be
Yeah,
like Willie
probably around
Nelson's
the
guitar with a big hole in it, right? As long as he's been around.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's something. I noticed behind you it says man cave, and so I guess you have your own man cave, huh? Keep you out, keep your own little distance and have your own time to write and think, huh?
Yeah, they keep me down here.
Is it like
They
your
just
basement? I know they have basements back east like that, right?
Yeah,
Buildings
yeah,
have
down
basements.
down in the basement. Yep. Got a lot of the music stuff down here and
Wow.
some other memorabilia, mostly junk.
Yeah. So have you had the opportunity to play on the Grand Ole Opry, or you're going to have that opportunity, you think?
Let's hope so.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that.
Yeah.
It must be amazing. I was just there in June, and thanks to Bev, I got to walk through the artist entry, and she had asked me on my whole trip what was my favorite. I'm like, are you kidding me? That. I mean, I don't care if I did anything else, and be able to walk backstage like I knew what I was doing, and everybody's so nice, and I was in heaven. I'd been there several times, but not like that to be able to just have a free card. So,
Hmm.
uh,
That is
you
cool.
will enjoy that time being on that circle. So you have any cool stories to tell us about the road? How you have to get to where you are. You've been out on the road at a lot of little gigs
Yeah,
at this
I play mostly I try to play as regionally as possible.
nice.
I avoid uh for lack of a better term, the road. I
Oh,
would much prefer to be home. Uh
I love that.
I'm a homebody, and aside from a few like handful of bigger shows or good opportunities,
Yes.
I stay, relatively local, but so not too many good stories to tell. But I did have the opportunity this past summer to play what they call the Country Legends Festival out in West Liberty, Ohio. That was with Tracy Lawrence and Diamond Rio and Blackhawk. That was a great show, big outdoor show. And then my favorite experience so far was opening up for David Allen Coe in Pittsburgh a few years back.
How
That was a good
cool.
experience. Yeah, I was nervous beyond belief, and I was talking to like one of his like road guys and one of his band members, his guitar player, who actually lives out this way. And I said, is there any chance I could meet David and talk to him, this and that? They're like, yeah, we could probably do that. So, later in the show, after I was done playing, they ushered me, out to where he was at
Yeah.
in his vehicle. And yeah, I should have spent that past hour thinking about what I was going to say to him or ask him. And essentially, I get there and basically just don't say anything of importance at all, you know, just kind of, like, hey, thanks for letting me open the show. I'm a big fan. And, I didn't really say, do you have any advice for a aspiring independent country musician or anything like that? But it was cool to meet him nonetheless. I at least got a picture out of it. So he's one of the good ones.
Yeah, I can understand what you mean. There's times like, if you know you're going to have an interview with somebody, you can do your research. But like when you're on a red carpet and they start throwing people at you, you have no clue who that person is, maybe. And you're just like, it can be, I can understand how you
Yeah.
felt at that moment. It's something else.
Oh
So how
yeah.
was your Thanksgiving? Do you travel? Do you stay there?
Yeah, no, we have everybody over at our house and
Nice.
have four turkeys. I smoked two of them. out on the smoker, and they've turned out, thank goodness, pretty good the past few years. I haven't had any complaints so far. But yeah, we have a big crowd here, lots of family, lots of friends. Always a good time. Get to hang out with everybody.
That's something. We actually, my son smoked one and they deep fried another. Both amazing, both different
Yeah,
tastes. It was something else. The smoked was so good.
that's next on my list, doing the
The
deep
deep fried?
fry. Yeah,
Yes. Yes,
pretty
that's the
dangerous from what
yes.
I can tell, but
Yep. Definitely don't do it inside.
yeah, sheesh,
But we've been doing it for like 5 years. This was the first time we've ever smoked one, but boy, was it delicious.
good.
So,
You have a lot of people.
we had like 14,
Yeah,
of us, my son and his wife, and then her family. So it was nice. We had a really great time.
good.
Thanks for asking. How about Christmas? What's coming up for Christmas? What did you ask Santa for?
I have everything I need.
Okay.
I don't need any more things or stuff. Um, what did I ask for? You know what I did ask for? I wanted an Andy Griffith T-shirt.
See?
That was on
Wow.
my list. So we'll see if Santa brings it to me or not. If I was on the good list or the bad list.
So do you want Andy Griffith as Andy Griffith or Matlock? He was in a lot of things. As Andy Griffith, the sheriff,
Oh yeah, definitely Andy Taylor all the
yeah,
way.
Andy
My
Taylor. There you
my
go.
grandfather was a huge Matlock fan,
Oh,
and
you do?
but I'll go with sheriff.
Oh, did you ever see the video with him and Brad Paisley?
Yeah, waiting on a
Oh,
woman.
oh my gosh. I every time I want to cry because I just feel like crying,
Yeah,
I find that on YouTube and watch it, and it just makes me cry.
yeah.
And it's a good cry. There's sometimes we just need to cry, and that is my
Oh, I
go-to
agree.
cry song,
That's
or
why I like
video.
country music so
Yes.
much.
And George Jones, he stopped loving her today. That one will just set me off, you know.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite all-time favorite country artist from when you were young?
Uh,
You know,
Waylon.
Waylon. That's
Waylon's
why you have
always
him
been
on your
my
arm.
yeah. He's
Yes.
always been my favorite. I like a lot of Waylon songs, but there's a lot of good ones out there. Some newer people. I
Hmm.
like Whitey Morgan and the 78s.
Oh, sweet.
Uh, they're
Yeah.
good, the kind of new honky tonk outlaw act. And there's a gentleman I've been listening to for like 6 months. His name's Stephen Wilson Jr.
Junior,
And
huh? Okay.
he just put out a 20 song album, I think his first maybe full length album,
Wow.
and he's incredible. His songs are just great. Not traditional country music by any means. I'm not sure what you'd call it, maybe alternative country. Um, but
Okay.
yeah, he's one to check out.
So what type of instruments did you use in these recordings of yours? Anything like do you use steel guitar? Sometimes it's hard, fiddles. You gonna
Hmm.
add any of those? Do you have that in there?
Yeah, we aside from guitar, bass, and drums, we had pedal steel on a few songs.
Yes, okay.
And then mandolin, fiddle, and harmonica to
Yes.
round out the other ones. So we
Got it. Yeah.
tried to be a little diverse.
Yeah, because that it's like the mandolin you kind of hear pick that up, it's amazing. And of course the
Hmm.
fiddle always adds to it. No violin, it's the fiddle.
Yeah. Well, you buy a fiddle and you sell a violin.
There you go. Okay, good one. I like that. So you got the tour coming up that's around you, or you're gonna take the Christmas time off?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a little time off. Unless there's putting this music out was a long time coming, and I should have did it sooner, but I wanted it
Mhm.
to be close to perfect, and it was close to perfect. I procrastinated a little bit, and things come up in life, but yeah, I'm gonna take some time off and let this ride out a little bit, and then hopefully within the next 6 months to a year, put out another 5 songs. And
Okay.
these next ones will probably be a little more, kind of honky tonk focused, I guess you could say, compared to these
Nice.
ones, which are a bit more subdued.
All right, so people can just follow you on rickgeorgemusic.com and find out everything that you're doing. And
Yep, yeah, everything will be on there.
oh, great. Well, we wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that you
Yeah,
celebrate, you and your family. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and we look forward to keeping in touch.
likewise. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We appreciate having you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You can find this video on YouTube at the Hollywood Times Official. Thanks for watching.